We good? Can everybody hear me? Okay. Hi, I'm Valerie Scott. How's everybody? Good, good, good. Okay. Today we're going to talk about investing in the hot Baltimore market. As you know, or if you don't know, in the state of Maryland, we have many investing areas, but Baltimore is one of the hottest areas. And so we want to make sure that you get some information and you know how to invest in Baltimore. So today, we have a phenomenal panel here, okay? Experts in the field who are doing business in the Baltimore area. So we're going to start by introducing ourselves, um, and then we're going to give you some additional information. Let's start over with Kathy.
Ladies first. Thank
That's
you.
right.
I'm Kathy Corley. I'm half of Joyful Living LLC. My other half is my business partner and mother, Karen. She is not here today, unfortunately. And we do predominantly rehabbing and reselling up and down 95. We have done wholesaling and we have also done some long term buy and holds.
My name is Josh Shine. I'm one of the partners at Trias Lending Partners. We are a mid-Atlantic regional direct hard money lender. So we lend our own funds, make our own decisions in-house very quickly, very time sensitive, working with a lot of investors in the area here. We've got about 290 loans out that we service, that we control, that we support in sort of the greater Maryland region. We also do the long-term 30-year fixed loans. So we're taking people who have either turnkey properties or have come to us for a rehab loan, and then we're refinancing them for a hold into a 30-year fixed. And those are 30-year fixed loans starting in the low 4% range. So we're really just a full service lender to real estate investors.
And I am known as Agent Corey Banks, Realtor 007. Um, you're investor friendly agent. And I'm an investor, but I'm also a real estate agent who mainly works with investors with strategy. Pretty much have a one-stop shop for my investors and facilitating if they need lenders, if they are looking to find the property, project management, property management, of course, listing a property. So just helping them through the whole process of investing if need be.
How you doing? My name is Gary Brown. I am Blessing Communities Realty. I started off wholesaling. Now I currently do wholesale in the D.C., Maryland, and Virginia area, and and I'm also looking for rehabs and buying homes as well.
Okay, and again, I'm Valerie Scott. I'm with the REI Success Center. We do various types of deals. We do wholesaling, fix and flips, buy and holds, and owner financing type deals. We also offer mentoring, coaching, and partnership programs. We're mostly known for doing short sales and foreclosures. So start with you, Corey, since we're talking about Baltimore. Can you tell me some of the emerging areas and markets in the Baltimore area?
Um, some of the emerging areas that I see, we still have the Johns Hopkins area where Johns Hopkins doing some things there. Also, you have Park Heights. Some things are starting to happen, about to happen in the Park Heights area. Also, in 21223 over near the B&O Railroad. And I think that's pretty. There are other ones, but they're the main ones that come to mind right now.
And
Okay.
I would just add to that. I mean, Corey's in the field and really attuned to what's going on out there. But I always tell real estate investors, you also just never know. And it's a question, it's probably one of the most common popular questions we get, what's the specific hot area or popular area? And when you've been doing it long enough, you realize that every area can be hot and every area cannot be. And especially for those of us who know and understand our immediate local market, i.e. the city, okay? Block to block, house to house, half block to half block, right? So you just got to pay attention to what's out there. And the key is good wholesaler, good realtors, good experts in the industry, partners that you're working with and that you can network with will help give you the information you need to find success. But you also have to work really, really hard with those partners to try to dig up and try to find that opportunity within a heap of you know what, especially when it's incredibly competitive as it is right now. So look everywhere, but dig deep.
And real quick, I will also say that also depends on the strategy that you're looking to employ. If you're a buy and hold investor, so for instance, I have a buy and hold investor right now who's buying in the near Morgan, and he's making sure it's near Morgan because right now there's a shortage of housing at Morgan. So he's purchasing these properties even at market value, and he's renting out those rooms for those Morgan students, making anywhere between $3,000 to $4,000 a month. So also it depends on the strategy that you're looking to employ as well when you're talking about emerging markets.
Okay, Gary, what are some of the zip codes that you're investing in? Because I know that you're out there every day doing grinding and so
Um, some of the zip codes I'm actually invested in is that Morgan area 212239. It's been hot for years. It just got even hotter since the pandemic and since things have changed. Sedonia, which is 21206. That's another really good hot area. Um, Park Heights has been number one for years. That's 21215. And I actually started doing a wholesale deal right where the John Hopkins area was right before it got hot, and now it's just exploding. And that's like 21205, if I'm not mistaken.
Kathy, how about you? Because I know you're in the field, you're doing quite a few owner financing deals. So any particular areas or zip codes that you particularly like?
So we've been focusing more in the northern part of the city, up by Govins and that area. We've also done a few deals over in the Lutherville, Timonium area with buy and holds. So, you know, where the numbers work, Valerie, is kind of where we go. And a deal can come out of nowhere, absolutely nowhere. You just never know where they're going to come from. So, talk to people, know people, network, and you can find deals, really good deals in that way. One of our best deals actually came to us through just knowing the right people at the right time.
Okay.
I would also add, just to further my point on just being open-minded, to not focus in too intently on any specific area because of what she just said and what we're all saying. Talking too much. You never know when an opportunity might come up. And so not a week goes by where we as a lender don't have a property come to us in an area, in a neighborhood, in a zip code that we go, wow, I just didn't think that area was coming back, or I didn't see that kind of action or those kinds of numbers in that area. So be open-minded. I would say, don't discriminate against a zip code, a neighborhood, or an area, because you never know as quickly as things are changing these days. Be open-minded to absolutely everything. Then do your research and your homework.
Okay, Josh, there's a lot of fix and flips going on in Baltimore. Can you tell me a little bit about your hard money lending criteria?
Sure, sure. So as I mentioned, we focus only on the immediate area. So we're not a national lender that covers the United States. We stay within about an hour and a half to a 2-hour drive from our office in Towson. So we are really focused on the immediate area, Baltimore City and surrounding counties. That's our bread and butter. We know the area so well. We know what's needed. We know what works. We know what doesn't work. And that's really the value add that we provide to our investors so they can be as successful as possible. So the return on investment, whether a flip or a hold, is as high as it can possibly be. We have investors come to us. We can close loans in as quickly as a day if the title work is ready. Okay, so we can move very quickly. It's can the title company move that quickly? So very quick closings. We're going to fund generally 80% of the purchase price and 100% of the rehab. In certain circumstances, we might do a little lower down payment than 20% with a very seasoned investor, a very savvy investor. We can and sometimes make those changes, but our standard is 20% down on the purchase, 100% of the rehab. And the rates are going to range from, 10, 11, 12, 13%. The points are going to range 2, 3, 4 points, depending on the experience of the borrower, depending on the quality of the deal. There's a few factors that go into that. We also have a minimum loan amount of $100,000. We'll sometimes go below that, but generally we try not to. That doesn't mean we can't do a lot in the city. We do a lot in the city. It does mean that we generally won't do the really low-end properties in the city. There's money to be made in those properties. We're not saying there isn't. They're not a fit for our portfolio and what we do. So we do sometimes have people who that minimum loan amount is a combined of the purchase and the rehab. So people will come and say, I'm going to buy this for 40,000, but I'm going to do a rehab for 70 or 80,000. That will still meet our $100,000 loan amount minimum. So that can still work. So we're very flexible on trying to make that work. And like I said, we're looking out for the best interests of our borrower and for us as well. We really view ourselves as a partner with everyone we work with. Even though we're not an official partner, we're an unofficial partner with a lot of skin in the game on our part. And we want to look out to make sure you're successful because we're holding the loan, we're building long-term relationships, and we have a phenomenal reputation for doing that, for going above and beyond in the local community, in the local marketplace. And we hold that as our highest priority to make sure we're always taking care of people and that the deals always make sense as far as we can tell.
Okay. Corey, a lot of times you hear people say, I need an investor-friendly real estate agent. People take a lot of seminars. How many of y'all have heard this? You got to have an investor-friendly real estate agent. Why is that so important?
It's important because as the agent, I'm the facilitator, right? And as the agent, so I have a lot of out-of-town investors, and they don't know anything about Baltimore. They need to understand how to move in and out of Baltimore. They need to understand the deal structures. They need to understand why this wouldn't work. If you're a cash buyer, you have more buying power, so your numbers are different if you are loaning, if you're borrowing from that perspective. If you are a buy and hold investor, you may pay a little more, or you're able to pay a little more because you're not looking for that immediate equity. You're looking for the cash flow. Understanding how to structure the deal. If something happens, how do I maneuver? And just also adding the value in when you're in these projects, whether it be input or whether it's checking on the property, whatever the case may be. So I'm the facilitator. I'm not waiting for you to put the property on the market. We're communicating and just different things like that. So I'm your partner in the process.
And from the lender perspective, Corey, we've done a lot of deals together. Working with someone who understands what a real estate investor wants, understands what a real estate lender wants is key. So we're able to work so much smoother together when we work with agents who are not savvy or experienced in real estate investing. There's nothing wrong with it. We do it all the time. But I can tell you that there are a few more bumps that generally take place along the road. They're not as familiar with what goes on with an investment property. They're thinking of this as someone's home they're going to live in, and I'm going to look out for them. And this is really a different kind of fight to fight, and how they look at the transaction and how they're pushing all the parties involved. Things move at a different pace and have different swings and ups and downs in the investment world. So working with an investment-friendly agent is key. Someone who knows the areas, knows what they're doing, and then knows how to make sure everything can get to the finish line makes all the difference.
And also to that point, tell you a story. With June 2020, right? We had a property. I had one of my clients who had a property, and the lender was just horrible. And to the point, the lender couldn't even fund the deal. So now we're about maybe 2 days out before this contract is about to expire, and we're about to lose everything. I said, okay, what can I get done here? So I call him JS the best, right? So I called my man Josh, and I asked him, can you make this work? And he said, sure. So we ended up calling the title company, calling the listing agent, and worked everything out. And within like less than a week, he was able to have the funds together and able to close it. So now my client didn't lose the deal. They were able to do what they needed to do. But that's part of being an investor friendly agent, having those relationships and knowing when to pull the trigger and what to do to make sure that you're getting the maximum of your dollars in your business.
Every morning since that day, I've called him and said, make sure you don't make that mistake again. Just come to me first. I don't know what the issue was there.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say anything. I wasn't. I'm gonna be good up here. I'm being good. Okay,
I
Valerie.
couldn't help it. I couldn't help it.
Okay. Well, I know we're talking about fix and flips. That's the type of deals that they're talking about funding right now. But some of you may be thinking, what if I don't have 20% down? Can I still do deals in Baltimore? So let's ask Gary and Kathy that question. Okay. So we'll start with you, Kathy.
Well, sure, you can still do deals because there's all kinds of ways to structure deals, as well as there's all kinds of deals to be had. Just because you want to be a real estate investor doesn't mean that you're going to do traditional rehabbing and reselling or buy and hold. If you don't have the money, then wholesale. If you don't want to wholesale, then you need to find someone to partner with. There's all kinds of people who will partner with you for different reasons. So there's lots and lots of ways. It's really having the right team together and knowing the right people and being at events like this so that you can network and really get to know those folks. That's my piece of that.
Yes, it's very possible to get into real estate with zero money. I mean, when I started, I was in undergrad in college and I didn't have that much money. I started off wholesaling, and just as long as you're consistent with it, you will build cash very, very quickly to be able to afford that 20%. And also to piggyback off what Kathy said, it's other ways to structure deals. You can refer an agent to someone and get a referral fee, or you can refer a wholesaler property and get a referral fee. Or my favorite thing is JV, which is joint venture. If you have a buyer and that person has a property, you can definitely JV on a deal, split it 50-50, and you're cutting your work in half.
Um, Also, you have people that surround you that can actually help fund your deal and don't realize it, but we don't ask, we don't think about that. I had a client sit in my office and she's like, I need $20,000. I don't have $20,000. And I start asking, we start having a conversation. And let me ask you a question. You have at least three friends that has $15,000, and then you have two friends that have 2,500, 2,500. That's your $20,000 right there. Now and then have a conversation and offer them maybe some type of interest on their money. I'll look, if you loan me this 5,000, I'll give you 6,600 back. If you loan me this 2,500, I'll give you 3,500 back. Because that money is probably sitting there not doing anything already, and now they're able to make an extra 1,000 or 1,600. No, what I say? But basically extra. I'm just throwing out numbers, but at the same time, they're able to make extra money, and you're actually getting the deal done. It's not your money, but you have to think outside the box and think collectively of how can I get this done versus just thinking about what you don't have, and think about the people that surround you.
And from the lender's perspective, what everyone said is what we see from our perspective. So we see people that come every time, so they don't like me, and say, I don't have enough money. And so we say, okay, wholesale, try to do some seller funding, try to negotiate some other ideas, try to build up some reserves. But yes, option number two, finding that money, finding either a JV or friends and family to invest. There's always money out there, especially in the current marketplace we're in now. Things are so hot. There are so many people who want to get into real estate, but they don't, quite frankly, want to get their hands dirty. That's just a fact of life, right? There's some people who are working their butts off. They have this as a major side hustle. Maybe their full-time job is really the side hustle, right? And so they're working really hard to get into real estate. And the other people just want to put some money in and just maybe put it to work and get a good return. Okay. So we do see those deals, and we do fund those deals where that investor found the deal. is going to be sort of captaining the deal, leading the charge, overseeing the project, oversaw finding the property, the rehab, whether it's a flip, whether it's a hold, et cetera. But the money's coming from all outside sources. So we can work with those people as well. It's a very successful strategy to start to build up your own money to get that growth going.
I'm gonna give you something to think about, right? I opened up another savings account the other day. I'm looking at everything, and it said 0.1 that I'm making on my money. Okay, now if um, that's you're not making anything, right? So if you have someone that's putting money away, you have people that's putting money away in their retirement accounts, and they're not making a lot of money in their retirement. They may make 3% for the whole year, right? But they have this money sitting in their retirement account. And here you are, okay, go to a lender, and typically, let's say that lender needs about, let's say, $30,000 in the bank, right? You don't have $30,000 in the bank. You don't, but a cousin, an aunt, a friend may have money sitting in their IRA, their 401k, and things like that. Now, for disclosure, I'm not an accountant, so I can't tell you how to move that money, but there are ways to pull that money out for those things. So now you're looking at it from, if they're making 3% off their retirement for the whole year, and you're asking for this 30, the 30 is going to be locked in with the real estate itself, right? Now, let's say it's going to take you 12 months. It should take you about 6 to 8, but let's say just 12 months is going to take you to do this deal. And you're going to give them, let's say, anywhere between 10 to 20% on their money. Do you think that they would do that deal? They're only getting 3% over here, and you will have a way where they're going to get 10 to 20% on their money by doing basically the exact same thing, letting their money sit somewhere. So just think in terms of those things like that, as far as when you say, I don't have the money to invest.
Okay, I want to just piggyback real quick on what you're saying, Corey. Let's take another even simpler example.
Mhm.
How much in Baltimore does it take for earnest money deposit when you're submitting a contract? How much do you typically ask for?
It can be anywhere between, depending, but it can be as low if on the realtor side, and I'll let Gary explain that part. On the on the realtor side, it could be anywhere between $500 to $5,000 for an earnest money deposit.
Okay, 500 to $1,000. Let's say you want to submit an offer on a property in Baltimore City, and you don't have $500. How many people in here know somebody they can borrow $500 from? Okay, if you can't,
If you're not raising your hand, y'all need to get new friends right now.
you got to get some new friends. And let me just say something. If it's a good enough deal, come to me. I'll lend you the $500. Okay.
And
But the point I'm making, to borrow $500 to submit a contract on a deal. And let's say if you wholesaled that deal in Baltimore City and you made $5,000 to $10,000 off of that $500, could you certainly not give back to the person who lent you that $500? Could you double their money and give them 1,000 back? Okay. So that's how you need to begin to think. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I hear it all the time. So many people say, well, they don't have the money to invest, or I have to wait till I save, or I have to do this in terms of that, in terms of money. Please understand, there are people out here who are available and who will lend you the money to invest. Can you just hold your question 1 second and okay,
there you
wait a
go.
minute, here we go. This man says, I can't see your name. Tell me. Sal said he will lend you that money. Just that quick. Do you see how easy it is? Okay. So don't let money keep you from not investing. Don't use that as an excuse. Okay. All right. Next question. Josh. Okay. A lot of investors that are rehabbing in Baltimore are using the Burr method as their exit strategy. For those of you who don't know, the Burr method means the investor buys it, they rehab it, rent it, and refinance it. Do you do those type of, will you do funding for the refinancing?
Absolutely. So we have a lot of clients who, especially, we've seen this transition really take place really post COVID. It had been happening before that. We had seen a transition in our sort of deal flow and pipeline overall, where the needle was sort of moving from a nice chunk of fix and flip and just sell it and move on to that BRRRR method. And when COVID hit, the rental side did get stronger and the activity on the BRRRR approach got even stronger. And so we've grown that side of our business quite significantly. So clients are coming to us. They're coming to us with a property that needs any level of rehab, sometimes not a huge amount of rehab, and sometimes a full gut from A to Z. So they're going to come to us for the hard money loan. We're going to close that very quickly. We're going to provide the rehab funds necessary to be able to do that rehab, to get that property updated, renovated, et cetera. Then once they get it stabilized, once they have it rented, time to do the last R in the BRRRR method, which is repeat, right? So we got to cash them out and we got to get them some money back and we got to turn that money back into a new fresh loan to do it all again. So then we'll take them and we'll get them into a refinance at 75 or 80% of what that after repair value now is. So hopefully that home is now worth more. There's two main reasons it's worth more. One, the market's really hot and everything's appreciating all the time. Make hay while the sun shines. It's a great time to do it. That is what's happening daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly for sure. And obviously you renovated this property significantly. So it is worth more because you put money into it, you updated the quality of that property. So now we have a higher value, the ARV, the after repair value is higher. So we can now do a 30-year fixed loan to provide a good long-term hold loan for you for that property that's going to allow you to cash flow beautifully on it. So you're going to receive the rent of, say, $1,500 a month. And for discussion purposes, maybe the mortgage payment all in with taxes and insurance is going to be maybe $900 a month. So you're going to net $600 in your pocket every month. And it's beautiful. That's for 30 years you're fixed on this. And at the end of those 30, that mortgage is going to be paid off in full. So you're in a really great position to build up that portfolio and just sort of continue that model over the years. And we all know how the years fly by and everyone has that dream at whatever age it might be, or whenever you can possibly get there, the sooner the better, sitting on that beach and having that passive income. This method allows you to do that. And so we're funding a tremendous amount of people. Some are doing multiple properties at a time, assuming they can handle that financially. And with regards to having the crews and the capability of overseeing that, they're doing multiple properties to really build up that rental portfolio and get closer and closer to that time where they can literally sit back, maybe finally quit that 9-to-5 job, which we don't encourage until you're ready. But when you are ready, it's a beautiful thing, and have a number of rental properties cash flowing to you. It's just a great strategy, works incredibly well, and it is much, much easier than you would think. These are big terms and fancy terms, and we come to these conferences to learn about these kinds of things. At the end of the day, when you talk to a member of our team or you come to us through someone on this panel here who can refer you over to us, you'll realize we're going to hold your hand. It's not that hard. It's not scary. You don't need a ton of money, and we'll walk you through the whole process, and you'll be in really good shape at the end of the day.
I can actually attest. I have some clients. We have quite a few that's in the pipe and that you're refinancing right now. So yeah.
Okay. I hear a lot of people talk about that during the pandemic that nobody's selling their houses. There's no deals. Hear that all the time. So Gary, who is killing it out here, he's crushing it, okay, doing properties, closing properties every month. Can you talk a little bit, maybe give one or two ways you are finding sellers?
One way is PropStream. That's actually a data service that helps me do a list stack to find motivated sellers. Another way is I like to drive for dollars after every appointment. So those are my two ways.
Okay. Let's see, Kathy, any particular ways you're finding deals?
We work a lot by word of mouth. We do like working with investor-friendly realtors. They're going to bring you things that are on MLS typically, but I mean, if it's the right deal, if those numbers work up front, what does it matter where you find it, really. And, if you have a good relationship with your lender, sometimes you can even find deals from your lenders. Those are my favorite kind of deals to get too. Um, Again, I'm just going to say, work your network. Your network is your net worth, and your network is always free. They're going to bring it to you. Yes, you're going to have to do something in return. I'm not saying you're not, but you're not putting out thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for maybe nothing. Use the people who you surround yourself with. Go to great events, meet people, find your strategy, and move yourself forward.
To
Okay.
piggyback off of that 1 second, Miss Scott, is I've been getting a lot of referrals from my friends, honestly. And I have friends that work for the post office, and I tell her all the time, if you see a vacant house that looks like this, send it to me. And she sends me at least like 3 to 4 a month. I'm being honest with you guys. Um, by me posting my closings on my social media sites, I've been having people reach out to me. I met someone about 6 years ago who reached out to me about selling a property that I had wholesale to Valerie and Akil, and because her family, five, wanted some quick cash, and the house was free and clear, and their mother had just passed away, and they were looking to get rid of the property. So I mean, sometimes that friends, family, or just acquaintance can actually send you a deal.
Okay.
Could I say one more quick
Uh-huh.
thing? So, Gary talked about social media posts. That is huge, and it's free. The more you post, the more people know who you are and what you do, the more that can help you. Um, every day, post consistently every day.
And one of the biggest things, continue to put yourself in those environments, whether it's meetup group, and we're talking about social media, and now we're talking about real estate investment groups. Um, so even I moved my office inside my brokerage so I can be in the environment. I'm walking into the office and they're like, "Well, Corey, what you have under contract? I have this. I want that." So you want to put yourself in those environments because that's where you're going to get a lot more value and a lot more deals as well.
Okay.
And it's the old adage, throw enough stuff against the wall, see what sticks, right? And that's the key. Doing everything that everyone said on here. It's never enough. You can always do more, but keep on doing it. Your reputation, how you're perceived out there, how you interact with people, how you put yourself out there, how you constantly network, build up that referral network. Leave no stone unturned to try to find it, whether it be social media, meetings, wholesalers, realtors, what have you. All of those sources have to be utilized to the nth degree. That's the key.
Okay. In 5 sentences or less, okay, 5 sentences or less, tell us what sets you aside from other people in your industry, or what sets you aside as an investor. What's different about your company, maybe from other investors, and also after the end of those 5 sentences or less, give your contact information so people will know how to reach you.
Thank you, Valerie.
You're welcome.
So I think that Karen and I set ourselves apart because we're very ethical investors. You need to have that basis of ethics. We're personable, and it's easy to do business with us. We have a great team, so it makes it easy to do that business. Um, we live up to our word, and we fulfill no matter what happens. We had a lender, our first deal, the lender said to us, "We've never had a situation where an investor's been in this situation and they actually paid off their loan."
Your
You know,
contact information.
my contact information is 240-423-8467, or you can email me at Kathy at virtualreiacademy.com.
What I would say that sets us apart is relationships and reputation. That's the key for us. There's a lot of lenders out there. There's a lot of agents, wholesalers, people in the community, educators, experts, etc. People get set apart by how they're known, how they treat others, how they want to be treated, and their long-term commitment to clients and relationships. We're all about those relationships. If you check out our Google reviews at Trias Lending, just Google us in there, you'll read almost 150 five-star reviews about how we go out of our way to take care of and look out for our clients. That's where you set yourself apart when you need the help, when you need the assistance, for a good thing or a bad thing. It might be for a deal or for an opportunity. We had someone who had the building collapsed, and we had people to help them from insurance and contractors, et cetera, when that happened too. So it's for the good reasons and for the bad reasons. A long-term trusted partner makes all the difference in the world. My contact information is Josh at triuslending.com, TRIUS lending.com. And my number is 443-562-6076. Call or text anytime.
Corey, 5 sentences or less, please.
Put the pressure on me,
Count
right?
your sentences.
I should have counted yours. No, well, first understanding the different deal structures, and also understanding the different strategies, and knowing the numbers, knowing the direction to go in, knowing how to start with the end in mind, understanding the numbers and what you need to reach your goal. Understanding if there is a problem, knowing how to pivot, and having different strategies, and also having those relationships of, I don't know how to do everything, but my network does. You know, having that mentality that we always know how to make it happen.
And how do
But-
we reach you?
Um, my number is 443-380-0182, or you can email me at agentcoreybanks@gmail.com, agent CORYBANKS, or follow me on Instagram, agent CORYBANKS 007.
I'm gonna try to make this real short and sweet for you guys.
Okay.
Consistency, hard work, faith, ethic, and tunnel vision, and never get down on yourself when you hear the word no. And that's just how my business is ran. I mean, I run it off of faith, I run it off of honesty, and I run it off of being consistent and having tunnel vision. And you know, I can go on and on for that because of my age, because my age had put me at a disadvantage at going to look at some of these properties, but I never gave up, and I still, to this day, I keep that same work ethic mentality. You can reach me at, my phone number is 410-301-0528. Again, it's 410-301-0528. You can also follow me on Instagram at Blessing Communities. And you can also follow me on Facebook at Gary Brown.
Okay, and for me, again, I'm with REI Success Center. We try to make all of our deals a win-win situation, a win for the homeowner, a win for us or the investor that we're working with. We work with homeowners that are going through very traumatic situations because we do a lot of short sales. So we want that homeowner, when they close that transaction, to be okay. Okay, and to feel that they were not taken advantage of. So we work with honesty and integrity. You can reach me at 410-715-9696. And my email is info at REI Success Center. Okay. I want to take some questions from the audience. Anybody have any questions? Okay.
First question is, this is from Kinesia, how do you find an investor-friendly real estate agent that works in the Balto City/county area? Follow-up to that is, I tried to hire several and the agent told me they had too many real estate investors.
Okay, Corey, how do you find an investor-friendly agent?
You're looking at them.
Corey Banks.
Well, call me, 443-380-0182.
Your search is over.
There you go.
Last online question from Ronnie. Does Trias Lending Partners do deals in Prince George's County, Maryland?
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Check one,
There
two.
we go. The professional with the mic over here. Absolutely. We do all of Maryland, DC, Northern Virginia, Southern Pennsylvania, Delaware. So we cover a pretty good amount of land and geography within the immediate area. We love we love the city, don't get me wrong. We love the counties outside of it. We love the entire state. We're doing a lot more in PG. We're doing a lot more in Western Maryland. We're hitting a little bit on the Eastern Shore. We got some projects going on in Delaware now too. So we love sort of branching out into some new and different areas. It's exciting and interesting for us, and we just want to help that many more real estate investors.
And I just sold one in PG about 2, 3 weeks ago. So if you're an active buyer that's looking for deals, give me a call and I'll find you something in PG. You can just go to Josh and get it funded.
Hey, Josh, if somebody called you and you didn't fund in that area, do you know folks that you could refer them to?
So in select pockets, we do know some people. We try to refer out. The better sort of situation that I do run into, or the more common situation we run into, is a deal that maybe isn't a fit. Maybe it's too small. I mentioned that minimum loan amount, or for some other reasons. Not every single deal, not every single borrower is a fit for us, okay? But again, going back to relationships and reputation, we still end up working. We had a situation the other day. Deal wasn't a fit for us for a few reasons. I put them in touch, personally introduced them to 3 different peers in the local market to try to make sure they're taken care of. They had to do a quick close. I wanted them taken care of. Person reached out to me afterwards, said, I really appreciate you not just leaving me hanging out there and really going out of your way to try to still find someone to fund that deal for me. So we'll do anything we can to try to help in situations when it's outside of our market area, or certainly a deal that's not a fit for us.
Okay, can I have each of you give, oh, we got a question over there. All right.
Yeah, that's a great question. So the question is if you don't have the money sitting liquid in a savings account, you have it in a variety of other areas, is that okay? And does that work? Yes is the short answer. There's a bit of a longer answer, though, I'm going to take a quick second with, is the bottom line is, do you have the money to come to closing with a down payment and closing costs? If the answer is yes, unlike a traditional mortgage, I've been in the mortgage industry for 21 years. Prior to investment lending, I was in regular home mortgages. We always cared where the money came from, sourcing of funds, right? Sourcing and seasoning of funds. Where is it from? How long has it been sitting there? In our world, specifically Trias Lending, I'm speaking for our company, we don't care. The question is, do you have the money or not? Now, if you're bringing it in a duffel bag, I don't know if I'll be able to help you or not. Maybe the title company can. I don't know, we can talk to them. But other than that, we're not going to source where exactly did you get it, when did you get it, when did it get deposited, what account did it come from? I need to trace it back. That's regular mortgage world, not our world. We're going to say, closing's Friday. Can you show me somewhere, somehow? It might be 20 accounts with $1,000. That might not be efficient, but it might be. Can you show me that you have the money to bring for that down payment and closing cost? Answer is yes, we're in business. That's it.
Let
So
me
it's
also,
very simple and very common sense.
okay, let me also just answer that. Give you, there are also private lenders out here who could lend you the money. Okay, so you don't want to overlook. Are you a private lender? This gentleman here is a private lender. Okay.
And we'll have people do that too. So as I said, we'll have people that come in either with a JV or with just a straight private lender and be like, hey, I got the down payment, I got the closing costs, I'm the one doing the deal. They're the money person behind it. And that's no problem at all.
Okay, any other questions? Yes, sir. Anybody? What are some areas in the city that would be advantageous for investing?
Where the numbers work.
It's you, You just really have to know your area, honestly. Pay attention to the market. That's why sometimes it's actually important to have an agent that understands the market, because you can call Corey one day and say, "Hey, Corey, I'm looking to buy a fix and flip. I know the market's hot right now. Can you direct me in the right area?" And also, I mean, you can just go online and see what's really been selling. Redfin gives me updates every single day of what's been selling in the area on a consistent basis, or your buyer. Honestly, to be honest with you, my buyers tell me where they're looking, and that's my hot list, and that's how I go.
Okay.
Well, real quick, I'm gonna always start with this. First, figure out the strategy. It depends on your strategy, because a hot area to a buy and hold investor, with a certain number may not be the same hot market to the fix and flip. So always start with your strategy and understand that first and where you're looking to land.
Okay, let's give our panel a round of applause. Okay. And if you have any more questions, they'll be around for a few minutes where you can network and ask them questions.